Hi, this is Colleen O'Shaughnessey, and you're listening to the FSF PopCast.
The show where the S in FSF may stand for science, but you probably shouldn't plan on learning anything useful.
Our show is brought to you by our charity sponsor, the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund, which supports the Wish Upon a Teen Foundation that helps out sick kids when they need it most. And just imagine the comfort you'll give Red Shirt crewman number 145. She'll know that when she puts on the red shirt and joins Tails and Sonic in their quest to find the Chaos Emeralds, that she didn't leave her family destitute and without hope, because the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund has her back, and what's left of her rings.
All right, so our guest today is an amazing voice actor that actually hails from our great Mitten State of Michigan. In fact, she's from Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's where we physically met her at the Grand Rapids ComicCon back in 2022. And just for funsies, Grand Rapids is only about 30 minutes up the road from where I currently live. So anyway.
It's only 45 minutes away from where I was born.
I'll see, there you go. But why she'll be of interest to you is that she has brought several of your most favorite characters to life. Characters such as Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog, Sora Takanouchi from Digimon. I'm pretty sure I didn't pronounce that one right, and I'm not going to get the next one right either. Well, this one I will. Jazz Fenton from Danny Phantom. Nailed it. And then there's Ino Yamanaka in Naruto. Maybe I got that one right. Maybe I did. Probably not. But anyway, we are super proud and very excited to welcome Colleen O'Shaughnessey to the FSF PopCast. Welcome to the show, Colleen.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
We always get excited when there's another Michigander on the show with us.
Right?
Me too, because I love when people know that it's Michigander.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's been kind of fun. We've had a couple people. We've had Marta Kristen on the show. She was from Detroit. We've had Rob Paulson on the show. He's also from the Detroit area.
Okay.
And a couple other people. Derek Brady is also from Grand Rapids. And so it's always kind of cool when we can break out the mitten and show people where we live, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I get that. That's right on the Lake Michigan coast. You're on the west coast of Michigan," and it's just it's kind of interesting for us.
And then you have the other people who are like, "Wait, Michigan has coasts?" So like, seriously, guys,
We're a peninsula state. Come on.
of course.
So yeah, we are always excited and interested to talk about and to people who come from Michigan. Because it's always cool to see people from your home state that are out doing the cool things and that we get to nerd out about. And it's even cooler when that person happens to be in and around the area that I have lived and worked for the last 25 years of my life. So that's kind of cool. I always think about that kind of stuff. But when it comes to being from Michigan, what was it about your upbringing here that helped you prepare to be the voice actor that you are today?
Well, I started out doing musical theater, so that helped tremendously. I always just kind of did voices. I realized this at a convention about 6 or 7 years ago. Like, my earliest training was giving voices to babies that couldn't talk or animals. I look at a dog and look at their face and just give them a voice. And then also, of course, Saturday morning cartoons. And I would go around the house being Captain Caveman and all of the Looney Tunes and you name it.
That's awesome.
Nice. So do you have pets currently?
I do. I have two. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I have two big babies, Simon and Henry. Those are my two doggies. 92 pounds and 114 pounds.
Oh my, what breed are they? A
lot of doggies.
What are they?
So we rescued them. So we did their DNA, and my big guy, he's 80% shepherd, and he looks like a shepherd, but he's really tall because lots of shepherds are not so tall. He is so tall. I thought surely we'd end up with like Great Dane or something in there. There's no Great Dane. It's shepherd, 80%. And then I guess he had like 10% Doberman and 10% Staffordshire Terrier. And then my little guy, my beefy cake guy, my little Simon, he is 60% shepherd, which you don't see at all, and then 30% American Pit and 10% boxer. But he's tall too. Pit bulls aren't tall.
No, they're not.
Tall I don't know. They're ginormous, but I love them so much. And then I have two kitties, Carl and Millicent.
I love the fact that you've given all your animals human names. First off, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But secondly, we try to. I usually end up naming my pets after nerd stuff. Like I have a cat named Vader, because he's all black with a white box on his chest. He's a bit of a jerk, so it works.
He's the best, and I love him.
Well, he really only loves me. Everyone else he tolerates, and that's also another Vader thing. He has one thing that he loves, everything else he tolerates. So the reason I asked that about your pets is because we love pets on this show and we love talking about people's pets, but also since you mentioned it, talking to animals and with voices and different things. Have you assigned voices to your animals? Like, do you have like one general voice that you talk to your pets in? Like, I have a dog voice. Every time I see a dog, it's just, well, hello, is your puppy? It just comes out. I can't help it. But do you have a voice?
I do have a voice that I talk to them. I haven't really given them voices. I'm not sure why. That's interesting. I'll have to conjure that one, figure that one out. I don't know. But yes, it's always like, what are you doing? Crazy banana face, cuckoo bananas.
I love it.
Little monkey babies. You just a baby.
See, if I did that to Mia, we also have a Staffy. We have a Staffordshire Pit Bull, and if we did that to Mia, she would shed all of her fur right then and there because her whole body would just start shaking in excitement. That voice would just get it all out.
Her and her one brain cell.
Oh, goodness gracious. She is the sweetest dog on the face of the planet, but and it's a good thing that she's so sweet. Let's just put it that way, because nothing else going for her. Oh my goodness.
I bet she does.
She hasn't found her brain yet.
No. So both of my sons have staffies, and one is named Kia, the other one is named Mia. So when Kia and Mia get together,
confusing at all? No,
not at all. But when they get together, they run in unison, side by side. And my joke is that they do that so they can pass the brain cell back and forth, and they can remind each other to breathe.
Sure.
I also have a pit bull, but she's a pit lab mix. And when you were saying that they're not big, my pit bull lab mix is 53 pounds.
Yeah, see.
She is so
92. And he was the itty bitty.
Oh my gosh.
His big brother, ended up at 65, and she's far surpassed him.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So Zoe is 3/4 pit, quarter lab, and like.
Adorable.
She is so great. She is so great. But I keep telling Tim that Mia will find her brain when she turns about 6.
Oh.
Pitbulls.
My Simon is really smart. He's like ridiculously smart. He's manipulative.
That's gotta be the shepherd in him.
Right.
Yeah, he's a really, really smart dog. Like Henry's not dumb, but he's not nearly as smart as Simon.
Right.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. So I was looking through your IMDb list, and you have quite a few anime credits. Like
I do.
A lot. So I was wondering, with anime, we've talked to a couple other voice actors and voiceover actors who do anime, and they've had some interesting answers on this question. I wonder what yours is. What has been your biggest challenge doing the Japanese to English dubbing voiceovers?
Well, in the beginning, my very first anime was Digimon, working on doing Sora, and I had never done it before. So the initial first major challenge was figuring out what the heck I was doing. It was major on the job training. You hear the beeps in your anyone who isn't familiar with anime, you're dubbing English over Japanese, and so the picture is up on the screen, and you've got your script, and you feel like your brain is exploding because you're trying to act and then also fit your line within what they call flaps. That's when the mouth is moving, and it was just a lot of moving parts. And then knowing what there's codes kind of in the script. So if there's a pause, they put a little caret or dot, depending on the author. Sometimes it's ... but sometimes ... means keep going. It's really, so it was a lot of learning. I was exhausted after a 2-hour session because my brain was going to just system overload. And then another challenge was having to say some of the Japanese names. Can't we just call him Phil? Shikamaru, seriously? And the amount of times I had to say Shikamaru was, I can say it now, but it took me, it was a while before I figured out. And the emphasis on some of the words is in the wrong spot. Like it's Naruto, but lots of people say Naruto. It's not Naruto, it's Naruto, because this emphasis is on the first syllable instead of the middle one, which is what we're used to. So that was sometimes confusing.
That is confusing.
Pretty sure I said it the wrong way in the intro. Pretty positive.
Naruto.
Yeah, we'll play that back. I'm pretty sure. We'll just
I
add
have,
that to the list of Tim issues. We'll just go with it.
Eventually.
If you
we'll-
did, I didn't notice, but maybe I'm used to people saying it that way. I don't know. But
And I feel like that has just become the English pronunciation of it, even though it's not correct. Because that's how I hear everybody say it. But I also have such limited anime knowledge that anytime we talk anime, I'm like, I'm so confused.
So my
So-
daughter is a huge anime fan.
yeah.
I think are those called weebs? Is that what they are? Weebs are the anime fans? I don't know. She's gonna listen to
I
this
know
and
that's
correct
a
me
thing.
anyways. She's gonna correct me anyway, so it doesn't. Maybe that's a manga fan. I don't know. Anyway, it's out there. I don't pay attention to it because it's not my thing. But so she's looking through this, and I said the wrong one. I think Naruto, and she's like, "Dad, it's Naruto." Like, okay, same thing. I'm from Michigan, same thing. She didn't believe me. So yeah, we'll just say that's maybe not the American pronunciation, it's the Michigan pronunciation. We'll go with that because
We'll go with that. Oh, goodness. Yeah, there was, who was it? Tim, now I'm drawing a blank on the name that we talked to.
Christopher Swindle
Yes.
brought up and he's the one who told, that's where we heard mouth flaps for the first time. And I died laughing because I was like, mouth flaps? Because then all I could picture was like, and it just,
That's what they do, right?
And I mean, like, if you think about an animation talking, it makes sense. But then the more you just say flap, 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 it's like,
Yeah.
I think Tim got to the point where saying mouth flap no longer sounded like a word to him, and we were just dissolved into puddles of giggles.
we'd be in like doing like little podcast meetings talking about who we were going to interview and all these things, and all of a sudden one of us would just go mouth flap, and it just kind of became a thing. So, and now it has to
Shut
come
your
back.
mouth flap.
Exactly.
Mouth flap.
That's funny.
It's just going to randomly pop into my head for the next couple of weeks again, and I'm just going to start laughing again.
It's totally going to be a thing.
Be driving my daughter to her hair appointment tomorrow and just be like, mouth flap.
So, Colleen, we all have that little something that is close to our heart. What is a smaller project or a little less known project that you have done that you wish had gotten a little more love?
The Kids from Room 402, without a doubt. It was my very first show that I ever did. I played Polly McShane. She collected spoons. She was super loud and hilarious, and I absolutely loved her. And it was such a great show. It really was. But it was on Fox Family at the same time as Recess was on Disney, and they crushed us. And it wasn't, I mean, similarities because it was, kids in an elementary school, but our show was different than theirs. But the scripts were great. It was funny. Everyone was so good. And gosh, I think we got 2 seasons. I don't know. And then Fox Family became ABC Family, and then, anyway. So that one I would have loved for it to have gone, for more people to have seen it, because it was so good.
Kids from Room 402. Okay.
Yeah.
I will have to check that out.
Yeah, I was over here with the, man, why don't I remember that one? And then you said Recess, and I'm like, oh, that's why.
See? See what happened
Like
there? I know.
My kids watched Recess, so yeah, I get it.
See?
I still quote Recess. My sister and I like send Recess GIFs to each other, and yeah.
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 Well,
Colleen's like, interview over.
Rude.
you better go find some Kids from Room 402 ones, or
I
make them,
definitely
or
will
something.
now.
No, there probably aren't any, so you'd have to make them. I don't know how to make one. That's not
Oh,
my.
goodness.
I could do a meme. I don't know how to do a GIF, but I could do a meme.
And now, a word from our show sponsor, Level Up Sabers. Their link can be found in the show notes.
So, Colleen, as we mentioned earlier, we met you this past year in November at the Grand Rapids ComicCon. Now, it's always impressive us when we go to cons and we see the lines of people who are there to meet the stars of the shows that they love. And I will just say, you, ma'am, had some serious lines. That was impressive. And I know that because we got in line 4 different times to be able to try to get up to your table.
Sorry.
No, it was great. The thing that I appreciated about it the most, though, in all honesty, was that when everybody would come up, and they would tell you who, their favorite character that you did. I love the fact that you interacted with the people as genuinely and as honestly as you did. And for some, you would do the voices and you just see the smiles hit their faces. And that was, for me, that was fantastic. I was like, well, that is really very cool. Look how cool she is. Now I know I definitely want to talk with her, because that was just the thing, it was just, you get to see the genuineness of some people as they do stuff like that. So over the years, because I have to imagine that doing a Comic-Con can't always be easy. And it depends probably largely from con to con, how easy it is and how easy it isn't. So I'm wondering 2 things. This is a 2-part question. I told you all that so I could ask you this.
Okay.
How important to you are the Comic-Cons getting out in front of the fans? And B, what is one of the biggest challenges with the Comic-Con that you've had to learn to work around?
So it's to me, it's very important because so in the beginning I was like, oh, that'll be fun. I'll go, see some places that I'd never seen before. And then as you do them, and like you said, I have these lines and these people are first of all, they're so gracious and they're so excited and they couldn't be lovelier and so nice and complimentary. And you feel, and how much the things that I've done have meant to them. Like, I love what I do. And I've always, I'm living my dream. Like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. And I get to do it. So let's start with that. That's amazing. And then you just don't realize until someone comes up to your table and they're almost in tears, how much Digimon or something that I did 20 years ago meant to somebody, I cannot tell you how many times people have said, oh, I was going through a really hard time and this got me through X, Y, or Z, whichever project that is, so near and dear to them. And that's so special. And that they want to share that with me is just, that's phenomenal. So I'm so appreciative because, you can't do what I do without people watching it. Right.
Right.
So yeah, so it is. I feel like, it's wonderful for me, but I think it's great for them too. And it's just this, I don't know. And I appreciate that you said that you noticed that I talk to people because I want to give them their time. Like, they've waited in line and they spent money and they drove for 4 hours or however long it took them to get there, what a bummer to be waiting this line and then zoop and hand it over and next. I would never do that to somebody. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't, so I try to give them as much time as possible, and B was difficulties that I've had to overcome.
What's something that you've had to learn to overcome or work around with having to go to the cons and work at the cons? Because it's, I assume that there's got to have its own set of challenges. Unique.
Well, I get exhausted because I'm like, my face hurts by the end of the day because I'm smiling and laughing with everybody. So I get really tired. And so then by the time I get home, either my voice is done in, which I've learned some tricks to figure that one out because I was really worried. I was like, oh no, I can't go do these and then not be able to work when I get home. If my voice is wrecked or I get sick, and then add COVID layer. So then you're trying to talk through a mask. And so, some of them have now been without it. So it's easier on my voice. And you're in this ginormous room and the sound just goes up and it's echoey and you're trying to communicate with people. And it can be really, really tough on my voice. And scheduling, like being able to be away and away from my doggies, which is hard. And my husband and my kids. And my kids are away now. So that's a little bit easier. But it can be tricky to make sure that dogs are handled and house is handled and,
I do like the order of importance there. My dogs, my husband, my kids.
Well, because then he has to watch the dogs by himself. And no, I like him too. Hey,
I
dogs are my
appreciate that
baby.
order. I can appreciate that order, though. That's fine.
Thank you.
As somebody who
He would
has
appreciate it too, I think.
as somebody who is
He does.
married, has a kid, has a dog, and 2 cats, I yeah. Mhm. If you away from my little fuzzy wuzzies
Yeah,
and my
like
kid
you're
and my husband, like it's
be
hard.
happy you made the list, dude.
There you go. They were in the top 5. Call it a day.
How
You
does
know.
the 3-inch foam memory, like the 3-inch memory foam bed, not make the list? But the husband did. Come on.
Well, sometimes, it's hard for me to sleep in hotels sometimes. So that is actually, when
There
I
is
get home and I'm
nothing-
in my bed, I'm
There is
very,
nothing better than coming home to your own bed, though.
yeah. I did so many this fall. Like I'm going to try to not overschedule myself this year because last year I did 3 in a row, then Thanksgiving, then 2 more. And I was like, I don't know where I am. I don't know what day it is. It was ridiculous. It was
Well,
laundry. House was a disaster.
I would have to imagine after a while, the inside of one building looks the same as the inside of another building looks the same.
I couldn't remember what room I had because I'm like 8th floor, 5th floor, 3rd floor. Like I was like, oh no, I better keep the little card that has the room number on it with me because I was like, I don't know what floor I'm getting off at.
Which hotel
That's
is
fantastic.
this? Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, so Colleen,
But I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's,
But there is
It's
nothing. There's something to be said about there is no place like home.
this is true. And I do like to be home. So
We know that IMDb is not always accurate. So this question may go south very quickly. We're gonna
It's
find out.
accurate-ish.
So according to IMDb, at least at the very bottom of your list is one episode of French Prince of Bel-Air of all things.
Untrue. I don't know
That's
how
hilarious.
yeah, I don't know how that got put on there. And I forget what year it is, but I wasn't even here, whatever year that was. So in LA. So
1990.
no, I wasn't here yet.
That's fantastic.
hilarious.
So I
That
didn't
is
get here
absolutely
till
hilarious.
I think January 95. I was in school. I was at Michigan in 90. So totally not
There you go.
on that. So
Couldn't have been
sorry.
You couldn't have been
Next
in Bel-Air.
question.
No, it's totally fine because actually that totally works because now it's
Yeah.
so how are you going to get access to your IMDb and fix it because obviously it's wrong.
Yeah, I haven't been able to ever fix any of my own stuff, so I don't know who's putting it on there, but I couldn't get my Wikipedia page fixed.
Weird.
I think somebody did it for me, but there is a hideous picture of me on my Wikipedia page, and I don't know who put it there. And I tried to change it, and they said no, I didn't have access.
Oh no.
You gotta love that you don't have access to information about you.
About me, it's totally me. I swear,
That's
it's all good.
See, the only thing I've ever had to correct on Wikipedia was for the house that my mom owns because it's on the National Historic Registry.
Oh,
But at least then it's just a house. It's not myself. Like that's
Yeah.
How do you have to prove to Wikipedia that you are you to change the information
it was
about you
unclear how I had to do that, but I failed.
when anybody else can apparently put the information up there, but you
I don't know. I think
that's
it's like there's like a secret society, like a Wikipedia. They have hoods and meet in dark places and
yeah.
conjure Wikipedia pages.
So people
'Cause
who
I don't
couldn't
know
join
even
the
who made
Masons.
my Wikipedia page.
so there's Wiccans. Are they Wiki-ins?
Yes, Wikipedians.
Wikipedians. There we go. There
They're
we go.
the
That's
people
even
who
better.
couldn't join the Freemasons. So they started their own. They're gonna make up all the lies about the Freemasons and put it up on
Love
Wikipedia.
We have our own secret society. No, you cannot join. We'll put out whatever we want.
And you can't correct it because we said no.
So have you only ever done voiceovers or have you also been in front of the camera?
I've been in front of the camera a handful of times. I started out doing theater, so I've done a lot of stage work. And when I first moved to LA, I dabbled. I was trying to do everything. And so at one point it was too much. And so I everything was kind of getting, a half-hearted effort. And so I was spread too thin. So I was like, all right, if I had to decide, if I had to pick, at the end of the day, one of all of these things, what would it be? And every single day and twice on Sunday, I would have picked voiceover. But I did do a handful of things here and there, commercial stuff. And I was in Starship Troopers. I was an extra on Starship Troopers to get my SAG card.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
That's one way to get your SAG card.
you know, it was what I did to do it. So
That's right.
You know, not everybody can say that. That's
not everybody can. It's true.
That's good. You know what? That's one of those campy, fun sci-fi movies. Actually, I think that's really cool. So,
Well, and I met Casper Van Dien at a convention in December, and he was talking about Starship Troopers. We're in the green room, and was like, fun fact, I got my SAG card doing. He's like, we worked together. I'm like, well, barely. I mean, you were there and I was there, but we weren't like working together. And so then somebody went on, I don't know, they like scrolled through the movie, and I said, there's the scene where you can see me, because I'm like coming up to a counter right before they're coming up to the counter, so you can totally see me. And they found it and they screenshotted it and printed out a picture, and he's like in the background and I'm up there. We're like signing up to go to war, and I'm laughing. I don't know what I could possibly be laughing at or why, but
all right, I'll be looking for that as well.
at the ridiculousness of
Reframe.
the
I'm right
plot
there,
of
yeah.
the movie.
Things to watch tonight, kids from room 402, Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
So you had
Nice.
you had mentioned earlier to Tim that you had gotten your start in theater.
Yes.
So when you were still in Michigan, you were doing musical theater here?
I did it for forever. When I was like, I was a really shy kid, and my sister started doing musical theater. A friend of mine was in Annie, and everybody knew, oh, that's Julie, and she does musical theater. So she came to my sister's brownie troop meeting or whatever. And my sister was like, I want to do that. So we took her to an audition, funny enough, for Annie, and like music was always in our house. My sister got up there after like 202 versions of, Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow. My sister gets up there and like blows the roof off the theater. We're all like, and she was a scrawny, skinny little kid, and she was like, I don't know, 7 at the time or something like that, 6 or 7, and she was just like, she had this voice like you could hear it out in the parking lot. We were like, where did that come from? So she started doing it, and I was like, oh, I couldn't possibly. And I played the clarinet, so I played in the orchestra for a couple of the shows that she did, and I was like, you know what? She's having way more fun than I am. So I auditioned for one, and that was it. I did Fiddler on the Roof, and that was it for me. So I did theater all through middle school, high school, and then I did musical theater at the University of Michigan.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. I did one high school musical because that was all that my schedule allowed, and I was a spoon in Beauty and the Beast, but it was awesome because I was a spoon. It was totally cool. And yes, but like in a tuxedo with a big shiny silver spoon sticking out the back of it. It was so much fun.
I love it.
And in the battle scene, like the fork and I picked up the knife and ran with our friend who was dressed up as a knife to attack people, because why not?
That is brilliant. Why wouldn't you? Obviously, that's what you're supposed to do.
Your friend is a giant butter knife. Why not use them to stab somebody?
Yep, that's what you do.
Did
Yes.
did any of the cutlery at any time yell out, "I'll fork and get you"?
Only backstage.
Oh, okay, just checking.
I was gonna say, please don't ask if there's video evidence, because it's over there.
Because there is.
I have the DVD. It's back there.
I love it.
Kathleen is what we like to call show code, and you'll need to upload that later. Okay.
If I can get it to ever work again.
Whatever.
Actually, the last time I watched it, it was they're cutting away every time I'm on stage. It's okay.
Oh.
Like, I don't think you can actually see me at all. And in like the cast photo, it's just my spoon. You can't see my face. It's great.
Oh, but know it's you.
I know it's me.
So, Colleen, you've done a lot of things throughout the fandoms. And so were you a fan of such things like Naruto or Sonic? Like, were you a fan of these beforehand, before you got the part, or did you get the part and then become a fan?
Most of the stuff was the second. I got the part and then became a fan. I'm trying to think of one that I knew before. So anime, I was really unfamiliar with anime, and I had no idea that Naruto had like 700 and whatever episodes possible. You know, I had no idea. And there's a chunk where my characters aren't there. I literally, like, 3 years went by, and I got a call. They're like, "Oh, you want to come in for some more Naruto?" I'm like, "That show's still going?" Like, I had no idea. So I'm a little bit like not so much in the know. And of course, I'd heard of Sonic the Hedgehog. Who hadn't? But I didn't understand. I didn't get it until I got to do it. So, yeah, takes me a minute sometimes.
That's okay, but that universe in of itself has such a huge following, going all the way back to the Sega days. That's just it's kind of crazy on that one.
Yeah.
So, all right. So one of the other things that we like to often talk with our guests about is the process of their work. You know, how they get the job, how they maybe shake off the ones that they wanted, but they didn't get for whatever reason. You know, the almosts. You know, because sometimes, you know, a lot of the actors that we've talked to, a lot of the voice actors that we've talked to, they get their hearts set on a certain job, and then this is the one, and you know, they're really looking forward to it for whatever reason. Maybe it's, you know, got ties to their youth, or for whatever reason, something sentimental. But we also like to do this. We also like to give you guys an opportunity just to throw something out in the universe, see if it happens. Is there a project or a character that you haven't done yet that you're hoping that one day that you get to do?
I want to do all of them.
Solid
I
answer.
would love to do something in the Star Wars universe. That would be amazing. Oh my gosh, I would be so excited. I'd love to join my friends in all of their Critical Role stuff, which would be amazing. Oh my God, those guys are like taking over.
Oh yeah,
And,
fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
My attention has officially been piqued. What? Hi? I'm okay.
All you have to say is Critical Role, and she's like, "Yes, you have one."
I'm like,
Huh?
Vex is there, Grog is there, my Laura's Daly's bag of holding is there, my sweatshirt is on the way. I mean,
they're amazing. I mean, to see what they've done is just, it's amazing.
It's fantastic.
So cool. I love it. I love that they were able to do all that. So, you know, yes, there's so many, I would love to be in so many university.
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 But I mean, wanting to be involved with Critical Role. Wanting to be involved with Critical Role, since they just announced that they're doing the Mighty Nine.
I know.
They're gonna need more voice actors.
Well, they're coming, and it's not like they don't know me.
Right?
See,
I would
that's
just
what you
be like,
I know all of them.
hello?
Yeah.
It's right. You just got to shoot a random text and go with, you know, like a coughing emoji that says,
"Hey, it's super available."
You know, either that or like, you know, the Blake Shelton, you know, from The Voice.
Yeah.
just text Laura with the hello, please.
I know.
Oh man,
it would be awesome.
That would be.
But,
That'd be very cool. So now it's out there.
Disney
So we'll see
princess.
if-
I'd love to be a Disney princess.
ooh.
Well, there you go.
Is any of your stuff owned by Fox or Disney?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably lots of
I mean,
it.
so there's a distinct possibility. Technically, you may already be a Disney princess. We just have to, you know. So I mean, we just gotta go through a few minor technicalities of finding out who owns what property and go from there.
Right. Wasp was a princess, right?
Well, that's Marvel. So I mean, yeah, I'm Friday, Wasp. Those would.
Right. See. No.
I think it's in
I want to be, you know, Disney princess. You know,
That could be very cool.
dress and the whole.
If you had to choose a princess, which one?
That's impossible. I don't know. Well, you know, the first one that popped in my head was Belle, but then there's Ariel, and actually Ariel's kind of the reason I got into voiceover. So, and I met Jodie Benson this year,
Oh my
or last year.
gosh.
She's awesome. She was so sweet.
Nice.
I totally fangirled out. It was embarrassing.
How did
And I
Ariel?
happen to be, I'm obsessed with Loungefly bags. I don't know if you know of the Loungefly bags, but I am obsessed. And I happened to have my Little Mermaid Loungefly bag when I met her. And I,
Oh,
look at my bag. And I'm like, oh, what have I done? It was
I
embarrassing.
promise I'm a grown-up.
Right?
I
I'm very
understand.
professional.
I understand. If I ever get to meet Mark Hamill, it's just going to be a lot of giggles and hi, I'm Tim. And I'm pretty sure that's all he's going to be able to understand because the rest will be unintelligible.
It was bad enough when you met Sam Witwer.
This is also true. So
I got to work with Mark Hamill on Avengers.
Nice.
That's like
I know, and I
one
just
of the coolest
was like,
sentences.
I just played it cool. Like I don't think I even said hello to him because I didn't want to do something embarrassing. So I was so like, yeah, whatever. Mark Hamill's sitting over there. Who cares?
yeah, I had been like,
Whatever that guy.
"Hi."
It's just another Tuesday.
Right, man. Happens all the
Tim would
time.
have wet himself.
Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford are dream interviews, and yeah, giggity.
Yeah.
Anyway,
See, but I feel like I would be
Moving
like that. I feel like I would do that with like Laura Bailey. Like it would be I would forget my words. I would be like Vex and Chester and So we've talked about Sonic the Hedgehog and how it's been so popular since its first days on Sega. And that popularity lives on with the 2 recent movies where you got to bring Tails to the big screen. Even if those movies didn't really get the best reviews, it's Tails. Because Tails is obviously the best. Obviously.
He is the best.
I know that it's Sonic the Hedgehog, but no. Tails. So what does it mean to you to be involved in such a loved universe and also to be able to see it through from the games to the cartoons to the movies?
Seriously, you talk about like, what would I want to do next? Like, I did it. Like, I got to keep this character. I get to keep voicing this character from all those genres and then bring him to the big screen. And I feel so lucky. Like I got to bring him full circle, and and often we don't get to do that. We often get replaced. And so for them to trust me with him and allow me to take him to this, wider scope, bigger arena was an honor. A word has not been created yet that expresses how it made me feel, because it was magical. I mean, seriously, it was amazing, really, truly. And what Tails means to other people, I've learned this over the year, this past year, has been, so many people. Well, I played with my brother and I always played as Tails, and Tails is the best. And there's just something about him. He's just so dear,
That's what I did to my brother too.
You did? See?
Yeah, it was the second Sonic on Sega where you could play Tails, and I don't know, Tails didn't really do much, but like he could jump
and fly with his tails, which was really cool.
We actually just introduced my daughter to Sonic the Hedgehog a couple weeks ago. She's 4. And like I told her, I'm like, so I'm going to talk to the voice of Tails. You are? I'm like, yeah, because it's awesome. And Tails is totally her favorite.
Of course.
And partially just because he's yellow and yellow's her favorite color, but also because he's Tails. He's fun. Even if he can only jump, Nick.
He can fly in multiple ways.
I know he can fly, but like in the very first game, like the only thing he would do
was jump.
Yeah, would just kind of jump and follow Sonic, because I kind of wanted to be the one that controlled the game, but that's a Big Brother thing.
That is totally a Big Brother thing.
Here, play with this remote that doesn't work. Hey, you're doing a great job.
I don't know why you're not winning. Choo, choo, choo.
It's totally a multiplayer game. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
So we have a Facebook group, and it has over 209,000.
Yes,
plus
209,000.
And it is just filled with memes. It is this universe and that universe mixed with just memes galore of anything funny in the science fiction realm. So if you could take two of your characters and either mash them together to make a new character, or to combine and just kind of join forces together to either rule the world or to save the world, which two characters would you choose?
Tails and Wasp, but separately. No, we're not going to merge them. That would
Okay. And would you want them to like help save the world or to like rule the world?
Save world, and then rule. No, save the world.
Rule the world as good guys.
Yes.
Free lunch for everyone. See, they're good guys now. So, all right, Colleen, we have one final question for you.
Okay.
And we call this our silly question. Not that some of the things that we have already weren't silly, but that's not the point. So say you wake up tomorrow morning and the zombie apocalypse has started.
Okay.
What's your weapon of choice?
Oh, shovel.
There you go. That's solid.
Shovel.
That's a good one.
Big old shovel. Just crack them in the head.
Easy to get your hands on, and you don't have to worry about reloading it.
Right?
That's
So
true.
yeah,
Many
I was
hits
thinking-
from a shovel.
bingo. Yeah, I was thinking baseball.
Pretty sure
bat, so-
there's been more accidents on work sites with a shovel and like losing
step
limbs.
on that thing, blam, right in the head, right?
Well, Colleen, thank you so much for being on our show today. Where can our listeners go to find out more about you and your works?
They can go to Twitter. I am at VO Colleen on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at Colleen O'Shaughnessey. I just started TikTok. So I'm on TikTok, and it's real Colleen O'Shaughnessey on TikTok. La 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 la. Those are my socials. And anything that I'm going to do, whether it's appearances or show coming out, video game, whatever, it'll always be there.
So the at VO, is it VIO or just VO or?
VO Colleen.
Gotcha.
VO for voiceover.
Yes.
That makes sense.
I could see it go right over his head. Well, we are definitely going to link all of your socials so that our viewers and our listeners can find what you're doing.
Colleen, thanks,
Also,
guys.
hey Tim, before we do the rest of it, I have a joke for you, Tim.
Okay.
Do you know what happened with the dyslexic zombies?
No.
They went around town eating all the Bryans.
There it is. Okay.
Also, do you know what you call a
I liked
fast
that one.
zombie?
That was good.
You call what?
Do you know what you call a fast zombie? A zombie.
Oh, Jesus. Well, guys, subscribing is the single most important thing that you can do to ensure that we get more amazing guests like Colleen O'Shaughnessey here today, who puts up with our incredible zombie jokes and funny moments for you to be able to listen to. So please subscribe. It helps out more well than we can ever really tell you. And go check out Colleen's work on the links down below in the notes and comments section. But for whatever reason, if you're not happy with the content of our show today, please feel free to lodge a complaint with the head of our complaint department. That, of course, is Friday from Marvels Avengers. Now, if you ever read the comics, you watch the animated series, the live action movies, you know that Friday is the creation of genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, Tony Stark. So what that means is that Friday has at her disposal, well, everything. So if Tony or Stark Industries had it, yeah, she's got it too. Or she can find a way to get it. So send in one digital copy of your complaint to Friday. It's all that she's going to need to be able to pass judgment against the offending parties. Once that decision has been made, she will either send the full force of the Avengers or a strongly worded voicemail from herself warning the offending parties. We're hoping for voicemails. Come on, voicemails.
Why do I feel like my horrible zombie jokes got me at the top of the list for that one tonight?
There's a reason.
Lovely. Please don't.
I
hurt
like
me.
the zombie jokes.
Thank you.
I'm down.
There you go. All right, guys, that's going to conclude us for the FSF PopCast. Goodbye.
Oh.
Bye. Thank you.
Copyright 2023 FSF PopCast.
Reference to any specific product or entity mentioned on this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by FSF PopCast. The views expressed by the guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at info@fsfpopcast.com. Original music by Jordan Michaels.